Having products and services, of course, is your great commodity as a business. But that's only half of the equation. What's the other half? Well, it's the people who actually purchase your goods and services. This can be individuals or it can be companies. As they say these days, business to business or business to other individuals. Regardless of which one they are, you need a way to track them. In QuickBooks, we use the customer features. In this chapter, we'll learn how to add customers and even how to add custom fields so we can track exactly the information we want of those all-important people who purchase our services and products. I hope that adding customers is an activity you'll need to do very soon after opening the doors of your business. Adding customers can be done using the Customer Center, the Customer Menu, or even on the fly as you create estimates and invoices. We're going to create some customers by using the Customer Center. We're continuing the file that we've been using, or if you're just joining us, you can use the file that you find in the Chapter 9 folder. So the first thing I'll do for my home page is actually click on the Customer Center button to bring up our customer list, which right now is sadly very empty. So I need to click on the button on the top left that says New Customer and Job. I'm only interested in adding the customer at the moment, so I'll give that one a click. And as we'd expect, it opens a form to which we can add our new customers. We'll see a couple of things that I think need clarification. First of all, at the very top you have a customer name. Then down below, in the tabs, you will also see a company name, a place where it says Mr., Ms., first name, last name. This is just like vendors. The customer name at the top should be the way that you want it to be filed. The company name down below would then be what you want to call them on a regular basis. So let's go ahead and give this one a shot by entering both a company that we work with and an individual, because they're similar but also different. The company is called Brookfield Mechanical. They don't currently have any opening balances or anything with me, so I'm going to go ahead and just click down where it says company name. I will re-enter the same information. Because I'm entering a company name, I do not want to enter the name of an individual. I want to do one or the other. In this case, I'm going to use the company name option. The next thing I'll do is move over to the right and enter a contact. The contact I have is named Caitlin Smith. Below all of this, you'll see the normal contact information. We can have a phone, a fax, an alternate phone, even an alternate contact in case Caitlin is not in the office. We can also include an email and a CC. This would be very important for things like invoicing. I actually do much more of my invoicing electronically by sending it in email than I do regular mail or fax. By having both the email for Caitlin, who might be my primary contact, but also a CC, the CC could actually be somebody like an accounting clerk or somebody who's supposed to also receive a copy of invoices. We also have, of course, the same information for billing to addresses and shipping to certain addresses. Notice that there's only one for the bill to, but we also have multiples for ship to because people can have different locations. Also because you might need a mailbox, like a post office box, as well as a physical street address because some companies can't deliver to a post office box. All of this should normally be filled in. I'm just not going to take your time doing it because I know you know how to type addresses and phone numbers. If you want to add multiple shipping addresses, just note that there is an Add New button on the bottom. Once you have more than one, you can choose to edit or delete them. And there's also going to be a checkbox that lets you define which one should be the default shipping address. All of that is on the Address Info tab, but at the top of the dialog, we have a couple more tabs that we need to talk about. First of all, we have Additional Info. First thing it wants to know is, what kind of customer is this? Well, from the drop-down, I can see that I don't currently have any defined. The type of customers that you have will depend on your business. Since this particular business is about computer training, they might be things like corporate customers, government, medical, legal, and maybe even training centers, so we're training for other trainers. I'm going to simply add a new one very quickly so I can have it for this particular record. I'll click Add New. It's a very simple box, and I'll type in corporate. Another option that I always have is to actually go to the customer types by accessing the Lists menu and doing all of these at one time. Since I'm looking at it now and not seeing that I have any entries, that might be another task I'll put on my to-do list to go up and actually fill all of this in at a different time. I'll go ahead and click OK, and that puts in the corporate type, and now I'm down to terms. The terms for this company are net 30. Once I get employees in the company, I can assign a sales rep to this particular account. I can tell them that their preferred method of sending invoices and statements is via email. And once I get my sales tax set up, I can also put that information in as well. On the right-hand side, you'll see the option to include price levels, and again, there aren't any. If my company only charges one price, then I don't need them. But if I have different pricing structures, maybe for platinum customers versus gold customers, I can go ahead and create those price levels, and that, of course, will affect the pricing itself. The next tab we want to look at is payment information. I can put in their account number, their credit limit, their preferred payment method, and I can store credit card information. I need to stop for just a second there, though, and caution you about credit card information. If you are going to keep credit cards, then it is your fiduciary duty to make sure that this file is secure and that you do everything within your power to keep the information on your hard drive secure as well. That means implementing security for logging into QuickBooks, and it also means securing the equipment as a whole. That's a whole different discussion, but these days we really have to be careful about the theft of personal and private information. So if you're going to store it, it's your job to make sure that you're storing it securely and honoring the trust that your customers have given you by keeping the information. One thing that you can't store is the little 3-digit code, the security code from the back of the credit card. There's an organization out there that makes rules for what has to happen with software that manages financial information, and one of those is that you can never store the code. That's something that the customer has to give you every time they authorize the purchase. So that actually is a pretty good idea to make sure that we don't abuse the right of having their credit card. That really is all there is to it. I'll go ahead and mark this one OK. And then we can see Brookfield Mechanical has been added to our customer list on the left-hand side of the screen. I'm going to go ahead and add one more now because I want to add an individual just to show you how that's a little bit different. So we'll do New Customer. Under Customer Name, I'm going to enter it backwards, if you will. Her name is Sharon Marsh. Then I'll press Tab. And again, I don't have any opening balances. Now the reason I did Marsh Sharon is because that's the way it's going to be stored. And if I want to see names alphabetically, then it makes sense to enter them this way. When I get down into the address information, that's when I can type it correctly. All of the other information, of course, is going to be exactly the same, with one exception. I'm going to go into my additional info. And remember, I only created one type of account. Well, I'm going to go ahead and look at my types again from the drop-down. And I see that there were a couple others like referrals, retail, wholesale, but none of those make sense for me. So I'm simply going to do another Add New. And this one I'm going to type Individual. Remember that anytime you use these types of fields, they can be used for sorting, for filtering, or even for creating custom reports. So it's not required that you do any of them, but as you're creating or modifying the lists, or as you're implementing them within your forms, just be thinking or remembering how they will actually be used. That might help you come up with the different types of things that you'll create. I'll click OK, and I'll click OK one more time. And I now have both a corporate customer and an individual entered into QuickBooks.